Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So we had a pretty strong close going into uh, the end of April, and you can see still really concerned with the way you've got all these tails and just gradually moving up. But this is a really concerning pattern, and if you look at this on the monthly, different view, opened fairly close to our low and closed quite high to closed on our high, just a little slither off. You'll see that on the daily. So this is the monthly between these dotted lines, and you can see the tail was just up there, but we definitely closed on our high. Just a slight little tail to the upside. That is bullish. So just don't like the way the oscillators are looking on the higher time frames. That's my main concern. So at the moment, if we just drill down through the time frames, and this is the 3 hour that we're on to now, you can see last week was pretty much all over the place. No real structure, sort of bouncing around, rejecting this top here a number of times. And I'm just going to bring it down so you can get most of it. And then we can argue that we closed above it. But if I take that one there, we still closed above it. But that's not an area that I want to be looking for long. So at the moment, I'd be waiting for a pullback to find some structure before getting into the upside. So we do have the Feds coming out tomorrow with interest rates, with their announcement on interest rate hike. So that's probably the catalyst we're going to be waiting for the next couple of hours, well, couple of days, should I rather say. For us, it's going to be 2 days. For us in European time zones. But if you look at the hour, above and below the moving averages, no real structure. Really strong day on Friday, strong day down, strong day up, to eventually close up in this zone here. And now we're just sort of going sideways. So I'm a bit reluctant to be jumping in long up there. That's one thing that's for sure. And if you start drilling down to the 15 minutes, look at the diversions we have here. So oscillators sinking, price rising. So I am very reluctant to be jumping in on any longs there. We do have a little bit of structure here at 15,947. Obviously we're aiming for 15,600. But I would prefer to be buying in lower down. Now, my big concern here is look at all these gaps. There are tons of gaps. If you drop down to the lower time frame, you can see I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 already, 5, 6, 7. So 7 gaps all the way through this move Friday, and I'm very reluctant jumping in up here. So we're in an area of strong resistance. I don't want to be short because that's against the bigger trend, and there's no real signal that there is a short bring. So I would prefer to see some moved lower down. So what I would suggest is pick up these tails. Okay, all these fractals here, pick them up. As soon as you see price bouncing off that area, then wait for the signal, wait for price action. So it'll be an inside bar, engulfing bar, or pin bar, and then look for the opportunity. And if you look at the history here, there's a big engulfing bar. There's another engulfing bar. If you put those levels in, you go look to the left, you'll more than likely find some structure on this side of price for that. There's a pin bar, and you can see that pin bar is off the bottom here. Well, it's off the bottom, or can't really be off the top, but it's off the bottom there, off these bottom fractals here. Could be off this one here as well. But nevertheless, if you just go back, draw those levels in, pick up the high points and the low points, and just wait to see what transpires. As soon as you see price come back onto a level and you get this kind of price action here, a pin bar, engulfing bar, or an inside bar, you've got a pretty sheer bet trade to the upside, because that is the trend. I suspect we are heading for 15,051, to be honest. I think that is kind of what the focus is, and then they're going to try to take out the all-time high. So it's going to be a grind. It normally is when you come to all-time highs, but then there's normally, if it does break, then there's normally an aggressive move to the upside. But oscillators are a little bit tight, so be wary. Don't just assume that it's going to jump into the upside. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of my view for today. Get down to lower time frames and onwards and upwards until it's not. And that's pretty much the moral of my day. Anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.